What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And yesterday we had solid action. Today was a market holiday due to Eid, and Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrates this. But we had solid action yesterday. Nifty hit an all-time high. We crossed 19,000 for the first time, and we saw action across the bourses. And we saw a new sector popping up right now, and that has to be pharma and banks. And that is why the title suggests it's Pharma Mama, meaning that pharma stocks are setting up nicely to witness another round of action. And that is what's going to be in focus. And I will show you, starting with how these pharma companies did in yesterday's action. And then obviously, what are going to be the stocks that we are going to be watching out for tomorrow. So with that being said, let's quickly start off. So the first thing that I would, like you all to observe is, very, very simple that banks, especially private banks and especially banks which are mid cap in nature, I think they are set to outperform. And there were a few stocks that we were tracking day before, and they also did extremely well. We got some entry opportunities. We traded Kalyan. We also took a position in VMart, and I'll be breaking down all of those things also very shortly with you. So with that being said, let's quickly go on and start scouting what is going to happen over here. So if you clearly look at the pharma stocks first, so I'll just kind of brief you with all the pharma names right now. So let's go to the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry as a whole. And over here, what you can see is that it's pretty clear on how all of these stocks have done. So if you look at all of these stocks, NGL fine, Gland, if you look at Medico, if you look at Piramal Pharma, if you look at Syngene, this is Piramal Enterprises, but we have Piramal Pharma was doing well. Aarti Drugs, if you look at Glenmark, if you look at these broader names, Abbott India, you see Oro Pharma, you see Glenmark, you see Sun Pharma, all of those stocks have done really well. So that makes us very interested in the entire theme in general, and we could see some follow through action on the next day. So even if you look at Sun Pharma over here, you look at Ipca Lags, you look at Marksons Pharma, you look at Walk Pharma, broadly every pharma stock has done really well. Now, coming back to the list that we had for day before, so I'll just quickly open that up just to show you what happened in that. So, okay, so I think I've not saved it over here, so I'll just go back here and try to retrieve that. I think I did not save it with that list. Okay, so I did not save it, unfortunately, so we'll not be able to see that. But let's quickly jump on to the stocks that we're going to be watching out for tomorrow. So one more thing I would like to tell you all is that the markets are getting tougher to trade by the day, meaning that although we are making all-time highs, there are stocks that are the stocks that are moving are very specific in nature. Maybe 1 or 2 days those stocks will have action, and then they will kind of fade away. So we've seen this in a lot of good stocks happening, and that is something that you have to be okay with. So with that being said, let's quickly start off. So the first stock in our list for today is going to be Karnataka Bank. Now, Karnataka Bank, the reason why we're very interested in the stock is that the stock has created a nice, cup-shaped base. Apart from that, the stock has done a very interesting thing. The stock has kind of try to come out of here, and this could be a range break for this stock. And this stock has been struggling to break this since the last, I think, 2017, right? So it has been about 6 years of consolidation for this stock into this range, and I feel that the next 2 or 3 days the stock could simply gather momentum. For a swing perspective, wouldn't recommend. The stock is already up 8-9% today, or yesterday. So for an intraday basis, maybe for a BTST basis, I think this is one stock that you should keep tracking on, and that's Karnataka Bank. Next up is ICIL or Indocount. Now, similar action, similar structure. We are seeing a nice base created over here. And I think there could be good action. You see good volume activity, low volume pullbacks, and I think that sets up, for the stock to give you a second day rally, a second day move, and even a third day move. So this base break is something definitely that I'll be tracking, and ICIL is going to be one of the hot names on my watch list for tomorrow. Another name that we want to see is Hemiprop. Now, this is a little extended because the stock was up 6%, and this is trying to kind of come out of this base in one single candle. We usually prefer 2 or 3 candles or 2 or 3 days of price action, but this has done extremely well. We see high volume activity, and this is from the real estate pack, and I think there's solid action in Hemiprop, so you should definitely watch that out. Now, Kalyan, I think I'd already told you that Kalyan was something that was on radar in the previous episode, and we were able to capture a nice move in Kalyan, and we're holding it. That's a disclaimer. We're holding it for tomorrow as well. So Kalyan is already extended, but what I feel is that it could start giving intraday opportunities for tomorrow as well, because this is coming out of a long base, and I think that's going to be really, really interesting to watch. So even if you want to look at this, right? So this is this is the entire base that the stock is coming out of. So it's doing similar things what it did over here, right? So I think there could be strong action, strong activity in Kalyan. So from an intraday perspective, I think this should definitely be something to track. Next up is Polycab. Now, this is a little stretched. I think this is a stock that I'll be only looking for from an intraday perspective. Again, stock is into a narrow base. After trying to come back to the lower half of the base, I'll just quickly show it to you. So the stock did in fact come out of towards the lower end of the range, and then again you see some volume spikes over here, and that tells you that institutional activity is still strong in the stock. So Polycab is another name that I'll definitely be watching out for. Next up is Vascon, and I think this is the name which interests me a lot. I think there could be opportunities tomorrow and day after in Vascon. It's a micro cap stock and it's into the engineering construction space, but I think the technical setup is working out really really nicely, and I think this is going to be one of another names which is going to be on my hot list for tomorrow. So Vascon is definitely something that you should keep an eye on. Next up is Teamlease. Now Teamlease has created coming out of this base, like it's trying to come out of this base. It had a failed attempt here, then it had another failed attempt here, and now the stock is contracting nicely into this range, creating a narrow base, and I think now it's going to be ready to spurge or spike from tomorrow or day after. So another stock should be on your radar. Not the stock which is going to be my A plus name, because the stock has struggled in the past and the left side is a little bearish, but I still feel that there could be lots of activity in this. NLC India is another name. I think we had discussed about the stock yesterday as well. I mean, in the last episode, and I think this could come out of this space really strongly. We saw a very good last minute action post 3 p.m. in the stock, and I think that this could explode tomorrow as well. A little extended, but I think there could be strong action here. Now, VMart, another name which I'm really interested in. We took a position as well in VMart. We are currently holding it. We took it around 3:25 p.m. towards the closing of the day. Now, the reason I like the stock is that after earnings, the stock did a decline, and then the management in the management con call, the management announced that they're going to do lots of new measures are taken. The product mix has changed. Basically, good bullish action, bullish commentary by the management, and we saw a big investor piling up, stake 2.5% stake in VMart. And post that, we've seen that very low volume activity over here on the pullback, and the stock has very quietly created a very narrow, nice little tight base over here, and that is what I like, and that is what we're trying to trade. So there's a break of this base, which is what I'm going to be tracking to target about 2250. So another 100 point or about 2-3% move can be captured in VMart, and that is what I'm going to be looking at. A disclaimer: we're already having a position in this. Next up is UBL. Now, this is not one of my favorite names, but the brewery industry as a whole has done well, and this hasn't really participated in that. Similar structure, stock after a big up move, changing structures, and then trying to contract and trying to consolidate in a narrow range in an industry which has been attractive. So you've seen Tilaknagar Industries, you've seen Global Spiritus, you've seen Som Distilleries. All of them have done really well. Even McDowell's has done really well. So United Breweries is something that has been lagging. It's a laggard, and I think this could also now participate in the rally. So again, that's a play regarding that. Now, similar to Kalyan, Titan is also near its all-time high, and similar action, similar activity in Titan. However, I feel that this base is a little unprepared right now. I think it's raw right now. So intraday opportunities may be in Titan, but overall, I think the jewelry space is setting up nicely. Next up is CAT. Now, this is a stock that I just will be tracking. I'll not be trading this. The reason for that is pretty simple. Tire stocks have done really well, and tire stocks have seen good action. They've witnessed good momentum. This is contracting into a base, but the left side supply is something that concerns me, and hence I'll not be that interested. But again, from an intraday opportunity perspective, I think this could do really well. Next up, we've got Landmark Cars. Now, Landmark Cars, after a decent IPO, so this has been probably one of the good performing IPOs, and it's a fundamentally strong company. And after creating this base, so just look at new institutional participation into this new IPO, fresh IPO base, and I feel that there could be an expansion coming in tomorrow. Now, the reason I am a little skeptical about this stock is that the base, however, tried to attempt it once, it failed. This is the second attempt, and I will only consider it for intraday opportunities or BTST. I'll not try to swing it because I feel the entry is a little stretched. So again, structure is really nice. Technicals are really solid. Fundamentals are also solid. So there's good news flow also coming in for this stock, and I believe that based on new auto sales numbers that have been coming nicely, I think this could be a beneficiary of that. So keep a watch out on this name as well. Next up is SJS Enterprises, and this is a name which tried to break out today, but yesterday, sorry, but it couldn't quite do that. We've seen some volumes over here, but that's fine. So I think another 2 days of action, and then this starts spiking up. The reason SJS is wonderful is that just look at the size of this base. I think this is going to be a 2 or 3 bagger in the coming months. So I think this is really, really good, and I'll just wait for an entry over here in SJS Enterprises, and I think that's going to be good to go. Next up is rate gain, and I think we've discussed this stock multiple times. This is also a stock that has very good positive news flow coming in, signing multiple deals with companies. The price action is not ready yet, so this is one of those names which is not ready yet, but could do well. So keep a track on rate gain as well. And on the similar lines, we've got Ease My Trip. That's not on my list today, but Ease My Trip is also near important areas of demand, and I think there could be solid activity, solid action in Ease My Trip as well. So that's about that. Next up is BLS. BLS International just coming out of this very important range. Now, I would recommend you to avoid this. Just observe this. The reason is 5% up. Base is not a proper base. I think this could be a liquidity grab as well, and it could start, moving, swirling down like this. So this is only something for observation. Just you can just keep tracking this. However, the base is nice. Everything's good, but I don't really like the risk reward, and I don't really think it's tradable. Next up, another name which is probably one of the favorite, and another name which I can add to my hot list has got to be Medicament Biotech, another pharma company setting up nicely into a picture perfect base, high volume activity, and I think this is going to be ready for a spike tomorrow or day after. So please be ready for that. So all of these names were something that I'm going to be tracking. Now JNK Bank is one special name that I would like to add over here, and the reason for that is we tried to attempt this, but it kind of failed for us. But I think the location of that is very, very nice. Fundamentally, the stock is extremely strong, and I believe that this could be a place where it starts moving higher. So this is going to be on my radar. I'm not going to be aggressively trading this because I've already done once, but I think I've got some nice expectations from the stock. Now, there are a few reasons for that. The stock has the highest CASA ratio amongst the entire banking space. The stock is the cheapest in terms of price earnings, ratios. In terms of valuation, this is one of the cheapest stocks. This is a PSU, so the privatization theme just plays out into the stock again. And this is one of the stocks which is the highest. I think it has the highest PAT to CASA ratio as well, meaning that the fundamentals are really nice, and this stock overall is just creating a base. I think there's going to be good time to accumulate it for maybe long term. I tried to swing it, didn't really work, but I will reattempt it because I have good conviction in this. So keep this on your radar as well. So that's it from my side. These are the stocks that are going to be on my watch list for tomorrow. If you're new here, consider subscribing, hit the like button, comment if you like this content, and tell me if you want me to do this in Hindi, in English, maybe some other language, or if you have any other inputs, please drop them as a comment, and I would really appreciate that. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next one. Thank you and all the best.